You know, there is just something about this car that I like. What other bare bones, stripped down, entry level, compact car looks this good? I mean, it's cheap and bare and unfrivolous, you know, no creature comforts as you can get. And look at it. It looks like it could just take right off to the stratosphere at any second, you know what I mean? All with a power glide, all with 90 horsepower. Woo! Well, hello guys. So recently I've done some jockeying around of vehicles. I wanted only the 71 Chevy custom camper in my home shop. I've got to get to priming and painting on that thing really soon, and I'm going to do it over there if I can make it work. So I had to get this over here. And I was reminded my wife was pulling me, towing me over here. I didn't want to refill this with oil. I mean, it needs a tidy, you know. It leaks bad. In fact, there's quite a puddle under it just from sitting here a couple days. But anyway, I was reminded of how much I love this car. Just sitting in it being pulled, I was having a blast, right? Unfortunately, it is a liability and not an asset. You know, a car that doesn't go down the road on its own is dependent, not independent. You know what I mean? So I have got to drop this engine out, seal it up. I have gasket kits for the whole engine and the carburetors. We just need to go through it. I want to clean up and paint in the engine bay and underneath the car. I'm sure I'll get a list as long as my arm as we go. That's just how it is. So over the next few days, I'm going to start tearing this thing down, trying to figure out what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I've never owned my own Corvair. I've never dropped an engine out of a Corvair. So this may get quite unconventional, but I have bungled my way through many a project before and have always been successful, I think. So I guess I'll start taking things off the top here. According to an unbiased survey done at the Town East Mall, Wichita, Kansas in 1983, it is confirmed that these are the most adorable air cleaner filter elements ever manufactured. Yes, that is official. Also, if you're wondering, if you're a Corvair expert and you're wondering why in the world I have this old school air cleaner on this 65, that is because this 500 came with factory air conditioning. Figure that one out. Now I keep going back and forth in the old brain pan about how I want to approach this. I've seen some guys take the entire drivetrain and suspension loose and set it down on its own tires, lift the body way up off the air and wheel the whole assembly out. And then of course we could just drop the engine. I was going to do the first option in my mind from the very beginning, but as I've been laying under here just contemplating, everything looks so clean as far as the body goes. There's like original undercoating on it yet, and so I really don't think I need to get carried away with cleaning and repainting or anything under here. So then I went to, I'll just drop the engine. And then I got under here and I'm noticing, you know, these bushings are all bad. Shock absorber bushings, these parallel arm bushings. I don't know what you want to call them. And so, well, maybe I'll just drop it all. There you can see those rod bushings back there, all split up there. But now I'm back to the engine, and once the engine's out, a lot of that will be easier to reach and get to. So I still think I'm going to just focus on the engine. Pretty sure. So you may be new here, and you may also not remember, because it's been a while since I've done anything on this one. If you are new here, I do have a short playlist, maybe 4 or 5 videos on this car. Went to a farm not too far away and pulled it out of the shed. That was an interesting morning, and hauled it home. Didn't get it running there, but hauled it home and got it running at my house the same day. Drove it around a little, and then we proceeded to work on brakes and tune it, get the carbs working a little better, put different wheels on it, so forth. So you can certainly check that out. What it is a 65 Corvair 500, which is the absolute basic, bare bones package, model, trim level, whatever you want to call it. So yes, I'm just gonna begin. I don't really have to take much out of here, I don't believe. But just for safety's sake, I am probably going to take, at least, obviously wiring, fuel lines, carburetor, distributor can probably stay. I don't know what I'm doing. So let's figure it out.
Dim-witted enough to play that game?
Against the house rules to answer that kind of question, sir.
Well, in between video clips, I have probably changed my mind 3 or 4 times again. I've got this far on the top, obviously, and may not even be necessary. I don't know. The point of this car at this point in my life has never been as much as I would like to. It has never been about a 10 million point restoration. It was just gonna be a car I could fix what's wrong and enjoy it, drive it, have fun. I have too many other projects in the works going on. And I'd already decided, well, I'm going to pull the powertrain, I'm going to pull the engine, I'm just going to do the tubes, reseal the tubes, the valve covers, the oil pan, anything that's convenient, and move on. No, I'm going to pull the engine. No, just going to do what I think is wrong. I have a whole Felpro engine kit on the trunk lid over there. So I decided, I should do the crankshaft seals, front and rear. And now I am back to no. I don't want to pull the whole powertrain. I don't want to drop suspension loose. I don't want to have to go get it aligned. There are a lot of bushings under there that need to be replaced. This is true. Shock absorbers, yada, yada, yada. But I'm kind of back to the place of just sealing what I know is leaking and going from there. So that's what I'm going to act like right now. Tomorrow may change. It may change in 30 seconds. I don't know. But I'm going to get down underneath this thing, pull the shrouds off the exhaust, pull the valve covers off, and see what we can see. Now, I did just come across one of our first problems. This left side exhaust manifold apparently has the tab was... or the ear was broken out where the stud belongs. See, we have a 3/8 bolt there and a 1/4 inch one with a head on it going through here. So something happened, was stripped out or whatever. I'm wondering if these manifolds match. Like, I have several laying around for my 62s at home behind the shed. I wonder if they're the same. I would imagine they are. So I may get lucky and have something for that. Otherwise, we may just have to put it back together how it is. So I would say we definitely have a combination of leaking valve covers and leaking pushrod tubes. Now that I have my exhaust shrouds open, we can look up here. I think the last video I made, I resealed, I took off that little oil cooler and put new seals behind it, and that seems to have, you know, I don't see any obvious signs of fresh oil leaking down there, which is great. So, I mean, you can see on number 3 here, that is just absolutely wet, and the others are no better. So, we'll take the valve covers off, and the oil pan down. We'll clean all this up, and we'll just keep going. When I take my baby to tea, I'm as happy as I can be. Oh, I never take her where the gang goes. When I take my baby to tea. That's from the wrong decade. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think I can take it, 'cause it took so long to bake it. And I'll never find a recipe again. Oh no. The dude really loved his cake. Alright. The 60s were an amazing decade. An amazing time that I missed. Obviously low on oil, there was nothing dribbling out of there. You could see on the gasket that it's getting past the gasket right there. So alright, well, I will pop the other side off, and then we're gonna, I guess, dive headlong into these tubes. Hot dog. Now, to a Chevy guy, a lot of this will look pretty familiar, I suppose. You can really sense the edge coldness coming out, if you know what I mean. But we're going to do one cylinder at a time, so hopefully we can keep our our cylinders and our cylinder head torques within reason, keep it under control. So I'm going to pop both rockers and push rods out for one cylinder at a time. Got a little tray down here. We're going to throw them in and keep them in line, left and right. All right, now we're going to get our guide plate out of there. That may have been the whole. That may have been the whole stud. I don't know. The whole rod. I don't know what you call it. We'll find out. I wanted just the stud. May have been the whole thing. No, we're good. Well, one of the guide plate O-rings, I'm not sure. Maybe the other one's right there in the hole yet, but I mean, it has stretch to it, so that one at least isn't completely shot. We'll pop out a tube here and see. Okay. What is the holdup now? There we go. Well, that's in bad shape. Yeah, at least. I wonder if someone got into the valve cover and was working and replaced those, but not these. I don't know. Because that's absolutely shot, that one there. Okay, get the other one out and we'll replace them. If you squint just right, you might be able to tell that I threw these at the wire wheel and they came out a little better. So yeah, there's no stretch left in these at all anymore. Pop these off. That one kind of stretches. Okay, and then this is what Felpro threw in their kit. Obviously, you could use engine oil to break bacon grease, whatever you want. I'm using Super Lube because it's handy and works really well. There's that. Definitely the engine side survived better on the seals. I don't know if that's typical really doesn't matter. If you're going to do one, you might as well do them both. So I just feel like I have to say something, you know, or it gets awkward. Yeah, now I can see from where I am that there's an O-ring in there yet. So we'll pull that out. But first, we're going to put this in. Okay. Get that in there. There we go. There we go. Get that out of there. Alright, I've got my new rocker stud O-rings on the studs. I'm going to get this back on there. I don't know, is it safe to assume I can get those push rods in? Maybe I should just get them in there now while it's loose. I blew through these. They are nice and clear. So now, from what I understand, guys generally go a little bit under factory spec on these studs when torquing them back down. I don't know if there was a danger of stripping things out or what. So we'll put them at 30, maybe just a couple over. This is 20. Let's go 32. 32.9. Now I was working up above, taking the tin surrounding the engine off so I can clean that all up, and I foolishly got grit all over my rockers and everything, so I got to clean those up, but we'll put them back on loose, and then we'll come back and set the valve lash when we're all done. So I'm going to repeat that same process 5 more times, and we will see you at the other side of that. Because I'm doing this in the warehouse here at work, I have the luxury of a heated wash cabinet in the other shop there, so while I'm here, I'm going to pop this off. In theory. There she comes. Come on. Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure I got all that. Oh, there is one more bolt. Ha! Alright. One more? 2 more? No, I think it's just the gasket. Whoa, 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 whoa. Making a mess, making a mess. Wow, this gasket is tough. Okay. I mean, that's... Hey, I don't call her Dirty Harry for nothing. that's nice. Real nice.
Ew, seriously?
That is so gross.
Well, I found one reason why there could be a bunch of sludge in here, although that was epic. But clearly, sometime in decades past, we had a stripped out drain plug here, so someone brazed one in. So, you know, that would prevent almost, I mean, yeah, there wouldn't be much, but I think regular oil changes and getting this engine nice and hot on a regular basis would have prevented that. So, yeah, that's part of it, but, you know, anyway, I'm not going to be able to work on this the next couple days, so I want to get this back on underneath there. You can see what's going on here without the tin on most of the sides. I need to get that one off. We'll throw that in the washer. And then I think once I get this part done, I'm probably going to lower it back down. I had to order a transmission pan gasket. That's nice and wet down under there. I wanted to replace that, but I'm going to have to wait on it. So I'm going to finish what I'm doing. I'm going to set the valves next, but I don't think I'll have time today, so when I come back I'll do that. Set those, get the valve covers back on, let it down, and then we'll push it over to the other shop, and I'll seal everything up and pressure wash this thing. Might as well. The gearbox, let's get down under here. So this is what we're looking like without a oil pan. The pump screen is actually nice and clean, so that's a good thing. I was a little worried that might be all plugged up as well. You can just kind of see the lifters and the rods here, and that's pretty much it. You can see the crank timing gear up front there. We got our tubes all nice and clean. Everything back in, just waiting for adjustment. I keep forgetting to look for a manifold, so I'm going to do that tonight. But I'm going to clean this off, make sure we'll cover that back up. You know, that's all just greasy and kind of wet, and I would like to know what's leaking and what I need to fix, so I really want to be able to pressure wash this. So anyway, let's get this pan on. You know, there's an old saying that it's a woman's privilege to change your mind. Sounds like a conspiracy to me. For us guys, however, I had a teacher explain to the class long ago, I'm talking grade school, that for guys, they always scored better, test scores, mind you, if they go with their instincts. Their first thought, their first reaction of the answer, percentage-wise, that's the one that's going to be right. Now, I don't know what that says about guys that if we just shouldn't think about things, you know. I don't know. I kind of prefer to ignore that thought. But anyway, I have decided once again, changed my mind once again, going back to my original thought, my original instinct that I need to pull this engine. I just cannot leave the front and rear seals alone. I've got to make sure they're going to hold oil so I don't have to do this over again later. So I'm going to put the oil pan on, finish cleaning this gasket surface up, put the oil pan on. I wish I had a transmission jack, but I don't. So I'm going to have to lower this down without beating up the oil pan. Put it on a stand, and then we will check that out. I just can't ignore it. Just about got the starter out. The bolt keeps getting tight on me. You know how that goes. I'm going to release all the bolts on the bell housing in the torque converter, and then we will we'll put a jack under it, see what we need to do about the rear mount or the front mount, however you want to look at it, I guess. Okay. Well, how do you... what is it? There she goes. Okay. Okay, well, I have the rear mount, or the front of the engine, as I would normally see an engine, loose. I can't really get, I wanted to take this beefier plate off, but I can't really take anything off down below because I can't get it to slide forward on the studs it's on. So I took it apart, or loosened it from the body here, and then I've got all my bell housing bolts out, I believe. That I can see it's not like a normal torque converter flywheel setup where you can disconnect the two. So those of you that have done this before, you know, be kind, have a little patience. You know, I could use a little instruction rather than a whole lot of criticism, but and maybe I can't get just the engine out. I don't know. It acts like it doesn't want to come. Maybe now that I have this loose, I will try to take those nuts off again down below and see if I can tilt this whole thing off of the studs. Because this top piece is hanging on our body here, and it won't let it go down. So let me try that, because that got caught up. All right, the 4 nuts down below are off, and I think, well, we're close. Okay. Oh yeah. What were you? Oh, part of the seal. Okay. And this is caught on here for some reason, so let's try going down a little. Okay, stop. Get my seal down here. And my coil wire, it's still hooked up for some reason. Okay. Now, I wonder if I can just pull on this and separate the two. Oh, yeah. I assume the shock absorbers will reach their limit and stop. Also, those strut rods back there should help hang the suspension up. Let's go down a little farther. Yeah, it's gonna stop. Okay. Pull this guy out of here. There we go. I don't want it hanging on that shaft. Back up this way. Yeah, we're right there, just right there. Take the fan off, the blower. Well, I'm making a huge mess, but she's out. Okay, so apparently this is how we get our torque converter off. I really shouldn't be surprised. It's completely backwards from anything else I've ever worked on. Just spin this over here. There we go. There's number one. You know, I find it kind of surprising that in such a low-priced, compact car, it's so convoluted isn't the right word, but there's a lot going on. There are a lot of parts on this thing. Wow. Why? The pilot was just incredibly rusted into the end of the crank. Oh yeah. So here's what it looks like in here. As you can see, very, very wet and oily. Of course, a lot of this wetness is from doing what I just did. You can see how rusty it is in the back of the crank there. I was fighting against that, trying to get that torque converter out. Probably what I will do, I will go ahead and maybe I'll scrape a bunch of this out for now, but I'll put this put it up on an engine stand with the bell housing, work on the front end and everything else I want to do, and then get the cherry picker and lift it off the engine stand. Well, no, I can't do that either. Probably have to set it on a scissor lift table once I'm done with everything else, and then I'll take this off, replace the rear seal, and get this all cleaned up, and then we'll go back together and away we go. I guess before I get too carried away, I better give a little update here. Engine out on a stand, obviously, just trying to go around and seal everything up. I don't need to get perfect, but I want it as perfect as I can. You know how pressure washing goes. So we're just going to hose her down with engine degreaser. Hey, where'd my foam go? There she is. I had the oil cooler off already. Decided to put that back on so I didn't have to try to seal up that odd connection, or whatever you want to call it. I think I'm going to soak this down really good. Now I just covered it up, but see, I still have these bottom shrouds around the cylinders, and they're clipped on from beneath. I think I can probably pressure wash. I'm sure that stuff just fell from the top. My mouse houses. So I'm sure I can push that out of there with water. But we're just going to soak this down, let her set overnight. Let me flip it over. Let it soften that junk up good. This is such a grease ball of an engine. It is amazing. running low, we're running low. That's okay. I should have another can at home, and then we will haul it over to the other shop tomorrow and pressure washer. I'll shove all this floor dry underneath it for tonight, and see you mañana. I just pressure washed it. Now I gotta hurry and get it in before it rains. I can honestly say I don't know what I'm doing. There they are. And what cute little things, too. Oh. Very clean in here, I'll give it that. All the rods are stamped. I've suspected that this thing's been rebuilt. So it's possible that just goes a little farther to confirm that. But anyway, we knew from previous videos it was a very healthy engine as far as compression goes. So anyway, I will get these two parts in the parts washer to clean up. I think I'm going to go after the front cover now, so I'll pull off the pulley cover. We'll get that all washed up. I've got to put all my bolts away because I practice what I preach. Put all my bolts in a bag, label them, and we'll move on. Huh. I find this all very fascinating. Don't you? Now this plate that bolts to our torque converter, I don't know that they bothered balancing this. I don't see any particular index. There's a hole here, like it could be for a dowel, but I don't see a dowel. So I don't know if there's a line there or if I'm just seeing things. I think I'm seeing things. So I'm going to punch a hole or a punch a mark there, and I can, we've got that hole there, but we'll just put another one there just to be safe. So you can get these out. Those were torqued down, that's for sure. Okay. Oh yeah. Am I glad I took the time now. That rear main is leaking. So, let's get our bell housing off so I can wash that. Okay. Do I have them? Am I missing something? What's holding you? Oh, handle. Good thing I didn't force it, huh? All right, well, in an engine that's completely upside down and sideways from what I'm used to, I should not be surprised. In fact, I did see the cam gear under the car earlier when I had the pan off, but then I forgot that the timing set would be on what is the front of the engine. Shouldn't be surprised at that. But anyway, there's my timing mark, so I can line that up. Does that? How does that? What do you do with that? Does that come off? I don't know. I have a book. I guess I could start looking. But either way, I'll put it on top dead center when I've got it apart here yet. Clean this up. I'm going to go throw these parts that I just took off in the wash cabinet. Why is that squishy? I think that's crud from them not changing oil like we talked about earlier. Good night. Change your oil, people. Well, guys, I know for a fact I have 2 to 3 hours of raw footage just getting to this point, so I'm probably going to call it quits there for this video. No, I am going to call it. Let's be assertive and positive, right? I know I can whittle that down under an hour. In fact, you're watching it right now. Why am I telling you? But in the time of this video. So this is the 62 manifold that I grabbed out of one of mine at home, and they indeed are different. I didn't realize that, but the 65 has the automatic chokes on the carburetors, the bimetallic spring, you know, and it's got a little cast-in wall around that spring to help it heat up evenly, I suppose. So this would work as an exhaust manifold, but I'm afraid that the one carburetor's choke would always be lagging behind the other, and I don't know, it seems to me you would have a little rough running or unbalanced engine for a little bit of time each time it was warming up. So I found this for $20 on eBay plus shipping. So not a huge financial burden as far as that goes to get the correct one. So we'll be putting that on. And then from a Corvair parts house that sells used parts, I ordered the upper guide for the belt, which I needed. I had a lot of opinions on Corvair owners that was quite necessary, and mine did not have it because of the AC unit sitting on top of the engine. So got one of those because I just really don't want to put the AC unit, you know, I'm keeping all the parts, but I don't want to run this car with the air conditioning on it, at least for now. And then I ordered a replacement exhaust hanger. Mine was missing from the rubber down. This one looks like it might almost make it out the shop for the first drive before it breaks. So I may have to cut a little slice out of a tire and rivet in a new piece before I even use this thing. I guess what do you expect from a used part, you know? And then I didn't even get the clamping part around the pipe on the bottom. So, not too sure that was worth it. I guess I was missing this piece, but whatever. Be that as it may, I have been having a great time learning and getting a little bit of an education in how these things are put together. Everything is backwards, upside down, and sideways from what I'm used to. And I don't know, I'm just having a great time with it. So I'm going to go right into replacing, you know, I'm still cleaning up. I'm going to go right into replacing seals and get this all ready to go back in. I need to pick up some engine cleaner and we'll spray down the engine compartment, pull this over, get it pressure washed, maybe do a little painting in there. I don't know. I really even was indecisive about all of my engine shroud pieces. Do I really want to make them look new? You know, I'll probably end up sandblasting them and squirting some new paint on them, but to go with the rest of the car, I was, you know, do I want to make it, you know, clean it, sure, but do I want to make it look new under there? But I'm there. I probably will just shoot a little spray paint at the very least and get it looking a little better. So hopefully the next video, I don't know when it's coming up, but it just all depends on my time. I'm really quite surprised I can even get a video per week at this moment. That may not always be the case, but we'll do our best. So stick around and subscribe if you haven't so you get notified. Got a lot more to do on this. Once I'm done with the engine and it's running and driving, I want to cut the floor out, maybe make new floor panels, I'm not sure. Headliner, seat covers, got to paint the passenger door, lot to do. So please come back. I know a lot of you out there really enjoy watching the progress on this car. So I will try to keep some kind of momentum up on it. Other than that, man, it's getting hot in here. Woo! Other than that, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thanks a lot for watching. God bless. See you on the next one.